Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. We are finally done with the prologue. We actually jumped into a little bit of the post-prologue, getting into it with the backstory of Shirou, learning a little bit about him. I think that's who we're following, because that's the actual protagonist, right? It is him. We've just been following Rin to kind of like get, you know, a little bit of information, you know, see what's going on here, get some ideas as to what's happening, and there's a lot here, but it's exciting. It is exciting, and knowing the position that this young man is now being put into, with what we've learned so far in this prologue, it's gonna be a good time. So let's just jump right back into it. I don't remember specifically where I cut it off here, but I think we might still be in his backstory. So he was in a freak accident. I'm assuming that he lost his family due to like a fire or something. He was hospitalized. Then some mysterious individual came up and it was like, hey, I'll adopt you. Also, I've got all this crazy stuff going on. You know, magic and stuff. And he was like, okay, yeah, totally. Let's do it. And now he's where he's currently at, I suppose. I hear a sound. The heavy rusted hinges on the door creak as it's being pushed open. What do we got going on here? Light pours in through the crack in the door. My mind tries to shake off the slumber.
Senpai, 起きてますか?
I hear footsteps drawing near and I feel the winter air flowing in. Oh, hello.
おはよう、さくら。
はい、おはようございます、先輩。先輩、朝ですよ。まだ時間はありますけど、ここで眠っていたら藤村先生に怒られます。
そうだな。よく起こしに来てくれた。いつもすまない。
Just to verify I have my bearings somewhat correct here, Sakura is the one who had that foreign guy trying to hit her up or whatever that we saw from the shadows, I think on, what, day 2 of the 3? And, I guess it was hinted that Sakura had, you know, been here before, that there was a connection here with him, so...
そんなことありません。
Is that kind of where we're at?
いつも朝は早いですから。こんな風に起こしに来れるなんてたまにしかありません。
Also, I know we're like 5 episodes in now, but how has the volume been to everybody that's been, you know, tuned in to this playthrough? Has it been okay? Would you suggest anything? I think it sounds pretty okay, you know? But what do I know? I'm not sure why, but Sakura looks more cheerful than usual.
そうかな。結構さくらには起こされてるぞ、俺。けど、藤姉には叩き起こされるから、さくらの方が助かる。これに懲りずに次は頑張る。
I answer still half asleep. My head is still not right, so even I don't know what I'm saying. I never know what I'm saying. As soon as I hit the record button on OBS, it's over. Sakura is giggling. Crap, I must still be so sleepy that I've said something weird.
ちょっと待ってくれ。すぐ起きるから。
The cold winter air helps at times like this. The chill snaps my lethargic mind awake. And in front of me stands my junior at school, Sakura... oh shoot. It's always the OUs. Is it Mato? Maybe I'm overcomplicating it. I'm in my house's storehouse, and it's just about 6 o'clock in the morning.
先輩、
目が覚めた。ごめんな、さくら。またやっちまった。朝の支度手伝わないといけないのに。
そんなのいいんです。先輩、夕べも遅かったんでしょ。なら朝はゆっくりしてください。朝食の支度は私がしておきますから。
Sakura is practically bouncing with excitement. That's odd. Sakura is weirdly energetic this morning.
バカ、そういうわけにいくか。今起きるから一緒にキッチンに行こう。よし、準備完了。それじゃあ行こう、さくら。
その先輩。
なんだよ。他になんかあるのか？
いえ、そういうことではないんですけど、その先輩。
Is there a reason why?
家に戻る前に
Do we look like
着替
shit?
えた方がいいと思います。
I finally look at myself. I fell asleep working last night, so I'm still wearing my coveralls. The coveralls I wear while I'm working are usually dirty. Who knows what Fujine would say or do if I went into the house as is?
まだ目が覚めてないみたいだ。なんか普段に増して抜けてるな、俺。
そうかもしれませんね。ですから朝食の支度は私に任せて、先輩はもう少しゆっくりしていてください。
そうだな。それじゃあ着替えてから行くから、さくらは先に戻っていてくれ。
はい、お待ちしてますね、先輩。
Sakura quickly walks out. Okay then, I'll change into my school uniform first. Then I need to collect all the parts I left scattered around. The storehouse is in the corner of the backyard, and all sorts of junk is crammed in here. Though I've always liked to tinker with gadgets, so the place is a treasure trove to me. The old man forbade me to go into the storehouse, but I ignored his warnings and snuck inside almost every day. Now it's sort of a base for me. I guess you could call this place my real room. The massive Emiya house never felt homey to me, but I have always felt at ease in here, surrounded by all this junk.
そもそももったいないじゃないか。ガラクタって言ってもまだ使えるし。
A majority of the things in the storehouse are everyday things, mostly unusable. I'm not sure whether I brought it all in because I liked it in here, or whether I liked this place because it was full of junk. Either way, I snuck into the storehouse almost daily, and I made sort of a hobby of fixing broken things. I'm not the type who gets attached to things, I am, but it just didn't feel right to neglect things that are still usable. Or maybe it would be better to say the idea of doing that just bothered me. Which is why I stayed up all night trying to fix a broken stove.
完成は明日か。途中で寝るなんて集中力が足りない証拠だ。
I tried to shake off my self-disgust at that. I gathered the parts for the stove and put them back on the shelf of things waiting to get fixed. There's no more room though. Once I fix the stove, an old VCR is up next. God damn. Guys, VCRs were just something else. Like, they were a clunky, piece of machinery. But what a way to, entertain yourself through shows and movies back then. They were something. What an incredible piece of media were tapes, honestly. Both of which were destroyed by Fujine. We can set that aside for now. Yeah, no questions asked there. I change into my school uniform. Since the storehouse is like my own room, I have all the essentials, including changes of clothes in here. Now, the rest are things like haphazardly drawn blueprints scattered all over the place and literal junk from my failed attempts at fixing various things. Also, there's some sort of pattern carved into the storehouse's floor, perhaps used as some sort of an altar in the past.
さて、今日も一日頑張って精進しよう。
I clap my hands in prayer at the storehouse and turn towards the mansion. Back on VCRs, I don't know if I've ever talked about it, but I do think a lot of, VCRs, you could actually, record onto the tapes with them. And I used to do that with, some of the games that I've played. So, technically, I was recording, gameplay videos and all that way before YouTube was even a thing. Or was I? I don't remember whenever I was doing all of that. I definitely held on to VCRs, way too long. VCRs and tapes. Good times, honestly. I walked from the storehouse to the mansion. I was about to completely read that sentence wrong. This Emiya residence is a Japanese samurai-style house located on the outskirts of town. This looks really nice. My old man wasn't from a notable family, yet for some reason he owned this giant house. That in itself was a mystery, and it also seems that he didn't have any relatives here in Japan. And so when my old man died, there was no one else to inherit this mansion, so it came to me as his adopted son. Though to be honest, I don't have any administrative abilities, so things like inheritance, property taxes, and any other complicated things are all handled by Old Man Fujimura. Old Man Fujimura is a major businessman who lives nearby. Kiritsugu described Old Man Fujimura as an old man who is like a Yakuza boss. Obviously, that was his own biased view. In fact, Old Man Fujimura is not like a Yakuza boss. He is a Yakuza boss. That may be a problem in itself, but I try not to dwell on it. Yeah, who needs that stress? Who needs to worry about all that? Anyway, that's why I live in this giant mansion on my own. It's been 5 years since my old man died. Time sure does fly. I sigh thinking about how much I've grown in those 5 years. I trained every day to become like Kiritsugu, but that's easier said than done. It's not surprising, since I didn't have what it takes from the start, but the fact that I haven't improved at all these past 5 years forces me to reassess things. If I had to sum up my current situation, I'd say I set the bar too high. I haven't even reached the starting line. That's depressing. No, rushing won't do me any good. For now, I just have to do what I can. Okay then, what I need to do now is... Oh no, I forgot. This is not linear whatsoever. This is not... Oh man. Okay, well, the good in me wants to say that we're going to go help Sakura. I don't really know what the daily tasks, like, what that is, you know? What that insinuates. Like, we already threw our uniform on and everything, right? Like, we've already done our change of clothes, so we can go help out. Even so she didn't necessarily request it, the good in me really wants to just go and do that. Not because I have any interest in the character, I just think that that's the right thing to do. So, I'm going to be trusting my gut on a lot of these introduction choices, but now that I am thinking about it, yeah, there are routes, and I don't know how many. I think somebody may have told me in the comments. I think I also remember seeing in the comments that there's a lot of bad endings, maybe? Who knows? I'll just leave it as a surprise, you know? We'll see how fucked I get myself. So I think another question is, should I be saving before all of these choices? Or is this a visual novel where I can kind of just, you know, wing it, go through, and then start over at a certain point, follow a guide or whatever, you know? Which is probably what I'll do, but just in case, there is a flow chart, which we can now access. Yeah, okay. So, okay, you know what? This is actually kind of cool. Okay. I kind of like this. I don't know why, but I kind of dig this. Okay, maybe it's not going to be too complicated. I'll still save it because I don't trust myself whatsoever. So I'll definitely just save it. But okay, yeah, the flow chart. I kind of forgot that was even an option there. We're going to go help Sakura, which obviously that's going to give us the thumbs up points towards her, right? I need to help Sakura. Again, I'm making that, you know, choice just because I'm a good person, you know? That's just me. But I'm very unbiased to everybody right now. I don't have any interest in any of the characters. I don't even know all the characters we can have, you know, interests in that would lead to anything. So I'm just going to be doing my own thing for a little bit, I guess, and that's just winging it all the way through. Making someone younger than me do all the work would be embarrassing, and I feel bad for Sakura coming here so early in the morning. Now, this is the right thing to do, in my opinion. But I'm too late. Breakfast looks to be done already. The appetizing scent of the breakfast Sakura cooked wafts toward me from the kitchen. Sakura finished cooking and she's searching the cupboards for dishes. We can at least help with that.
めんぼくない。せめて食器の用意ぐらいはやるから。
もう来ちゃったんですか、先輩。
もうじゃないぞ。6時10分って言ったら朝飯を食ってる時間じゃないか。完全に寝坊だよ。
そんなことはないと思いますよ。先輩は部活をしていないんですから、この時間は十分に早起きです。
部活は関係ない。それを言ったら朝練があるさくらがうちに来てくれるのも問題じゃないか。
いえ、 私は好きでしていることですから、部活のことは気にしないでください。
ああ、それは何度も聞いた。だから俺も部活に関係なく早起きしてるんだ。
To me, waking up early is waking up before Sakura gets here, and oversleeping means I make Sakura prepare breakfast on her own like today. Though this arrangement started only about a year and a half ago.
ともかく、さくらは休んでろよ。あとは並べるだけなんだから、それぐらい俺にやらせてくれ。
I stand next to Sakura and pull out the dishes. Sakura has a surprisingly stubborn side, so she won't rest unless I really push.
なら、私もお手伝いします。お皿には私が盛りますから、先輩はお茶碗を出してください。
いや、だから全部こっちでやるからいいってば。
いけません。先輩はお家の主人なんですから。
Damn, she is
朝くらいはドーン
persistent,
と構えていてください。
and I kind of respect it too.
どーんと構えろって。さくら一人に働かせてのんびりしている主人なんて家主失格だぞ。
What if, choosing this has the opposite effect? You know, like, the intention was to help out, but now we're just being in the way and upsetting her.
はい。ぜひ失格してください。これ、いつも美味しいご飯を食べさせてもらっているお返しなんです。
You can never be too careful with visual novel choices, it's all I'm trying to say. They can bite you.
食費だったら折半なんだから、さくらが気にすることじゃない。感謝なんて言ったら、俺がしたいぐらいだ。
やっぱり、先輩、分かってなかったんですね。
そういうことじゃないって、どういうことだ？
いえ、なんでも
No,
あり
you
ません。
have to say it. You started this.
責任取ってくださいね。私、先輩の家じゃないとご飯を美味しくいただけなくなっちゃったんですから。
バカ、おかしなこと言うな。藤姉に聞かれたらどうするんだ。あの人には冗談なんて通じないんだから。
そうですね。藤村先生に聞かれたら大変です。
まったくだ。あんまりおかしなこと言うな。
はい、言いません。言いませんからお手伝いしていいですよね、先輩。
Sakura looks at me in the eyes so naturally and calmly.
いいよ、好きにしろ。そんなにやりたきゃさくらに任せる。
はい、好きにします、私。
まったく、本当に最近言うこと聞かな
I
くな
feel
った
like we've
な、
gone
さくら。
absolutely nowhere in this conversation.
ですね。藤村先生に似てきたのかもしれません。
She responds softly as she reaches towards the cupboard. Her dark hair gently falls over her shoulder, and the curves of her body catch my eye. Calm down now. I can't explain it, but it's awkward. I'm not sure if it's our age, but Sakura's been looking more feminine lately. Well, young man, you know, she has interest in you, you know? She's gonna, try to look okay. Maybe for you, it's the same reason why guys would do the same thing to anybody that, they may have some interest in. You might want to consider that. Or I'm just completely BSing all of this. I don't know. Her casual movements or her profile are so pretty, and I inadvertently avert my eyes.
先輩、どうかしましたか？
Nothing at all.
いや、どうもしてない。どうもしてないから気にしないでくれ。
Yeah, just have her questioning all that. Honestly, it's baffling. Why the hell am I getting nervous around my friend's younger sister? Sakura she's just a really good and considerate younger friend of mine, and she's someone I need to look after. She's the younger sister of a friend of mine. We used to be friendly, though initially we weren't very close and she's a grade below me. It was only a year and a half ago that our relationship became more of what it is now. Sakura started to come and cook meals for me when I got hurt, and things kind of stayed like that. I think this arrangement was supposed to last until I got better, but I guess something or other happened, and somehow she ended up helping out with the household chores. Either way, Sakura is a good cook, and her cleaning and laundry skills are perfect. Having her come early in the morning is a big help, but it's been disconcerting recently. Sakura isn't the problem, it's me. I don't know, there's There's just something about her, though, something that strikes me. I'm sure being flustered by my friend's sister is part of the reason I feel guilty. Usually I'm unfazed, but when I blush because I get caught off guard like now, I wonder whether that's problematic as her senpai. I gotta get to know more of her personality to really form a proper opinion. I do like her design. I don't think there's a character design that has thrown me off so far. You know, everybody is in this, you know, old school design here, or this style, if you will. That's fine, and I can appreciate that and still, you know, be biased and appreciate how everybody looks in this style. But now I want to get to know the characters. I want to form opinions based on how they are. Breakfast is lined up neatly on the table. A perfectly balanced meal of chicken with parsley salad, grilled salmon, blanched spinach, miso soup with radish and carrots, and grated yams soup. God damn, that is so much shit. Guys, I eat like nothing for a breakfast. I eat like nothing for a lunch.
Itadakimasu.
Like, in comparison, I'm basically a starving child. Sakura and I sit down and bow and begin our meal in silence. The gentle tapping of chopsticks is the only sound in the room. Sakura isn't typically talkative, and I hardly have anything to chat about during meals. So we eat in silence. Normally it's much rowdier than this, but the person who usually causes the commotion... There she is. Must have watched a spy movie or something last night, because she's eyeing the two of us through a newspaper that she propped up in front of her food.
藤村先生、ご飯時に新聞は見ない方がいいと思いますよ。
This person seems very familiar, like we've seen her, like in the last episode or two, somewhere in there. Sakura remarks diffidently, but Fujine ignores her. Fujine's acting weird, but her being weird at breakfast isn't really all that weird for her. Sakura is used to it too, and she's eating as if nothing's the matter. Sakura typically cooks up Western dishes, which is odd for this, you know, area that we're in, but she really only began learning to cook Japanese dishes since she started coming here to help me out. Okay, there we go then. Sakura learned to cook simple Japanese dishes, at least for breakfast, because Fujine and I prefer them. Explains what we have now. Now Sakura's cooking skills have improved to the point that she's better than me, and I'm the one who is teaching her. Her miso soup is flavorful and refined now, and she's even gotten to the point where she can grate yams to make yam soup. Actually, I think today's the first time that she's ever served yam soup.
悪い。Sakura、醤油取って。
はい。で、大変です先輩。先輩のお醤油は昨日で切れてます。
じゃあ、藤根のでいいや。取って。
藤村先生、いいですか?
This is odd because, like, how many times have we come across her? Just once, right? But, like, this is totally different. Like, the attitude that we're getting. Fujine nods. The newspaper shuffles.
はい、どうぞ。とろろ汁に使うんですか?
That or I'm misremembering because we've been, you know, introduced to quite a few cast of characters here. And, like, I know she's a teacher. I don't know for who specifically, but Rin definitely, you know, talked with her, right? That did happen. I'm pretty sure.
とろろには醤油だろう、普通。
A line of soy sauce streams from the bottle onto the grated white mound. I stir the mixture up, pour it over my rice, and take a bite. Ah, the stickiness of the grated yam combined with the intense flavor of the soy sauce. And we're dying.
これソースだぞ、ソース。しかもオイスター。
Ah. Okay, I see now. Okay. Alright. I understand now. Fujine tosses her newspaper onto the table with an enthusiastic flick of her wrists.
どうだ? 朝のうちにソースとお醤油のラベルを取り替えておく作戦なのだ! The not-so-mysterious spy punches the air in victory.
朝っぱらから何考えてんだあんたは。今年で25のくせにいつまで経っても藤根は藤根だな。
Okay. Maybe that's why I was misremembering. I was getting a different vibe here, but it was all an act. It was all a fucking act.
みんなと一緒になってお姉ちゃんをいじめるやつには当然の天罰ってところかしら。
天罰ってのは人為的なもんじゃないだろう。なんかおとなしいと思ったら昨日からこんなこと考えてやがったのか、この暇人。
そうだよ、おかげでこれから急いでテストの採点しなくちゃいけないんだから。そういうわけで急がないとやばいのだ。
Who says skedaddle anymore? Only I say skedaddle. Fujine sits back down and shovels her breakfast into her mouth.
はい、ごちそうさま。朝ごはん今日も美味しかったよ、さくらちゃん。はい、お粗末様でした、先生。それじゃ先に行くわね。二人とも遅刻したら怒るわよ。
Yeah, no duh. And off she goes, stomping out in a rush. There's something terribly wrong with a world that allows someone like her to be a teacher.
先輩。
すまない。せっかくの朝食だっていうのに藤根のやつろくに味わいもしないで。
いえ、そういうのではなくて、昨日藤村先生に何かしたんですか？食べ物に細工するなんて藤村先生にしてはやりすぎですから。
いや、それがさ、昨日ついあだ名で呼んじまった。
What's her nickname?
それじゃあ仕方ありませんね。先輩、藤村先生に謝らなかったんでしょう。
面目ない。いつものことなんで忘れてた。
ダメですよ。藤村先生、先輩にあだ名を言われるのだけは嫌がるんですから。また泣かせちゃったんでしょう。
He made a teacher cry?
泣かした上に
Oh my god.
走り去らせた。おかげで昨日の英語は自習だった。
In fact, everyone in class worked together to make an award for me from their notebook paper because of that. I threw it away, obviously.
もう、それじゃあ、今朝のは先輩が悪いです。
Fujine is like an older sister to Sakura, so she's typically on Fujine's side. Which is fine on its own, but I wish that she would consider the fact that I have to deal with Fujine all day long. Fujine was originally an acquaintance of my old man, and she's swung by the house pretty frequently since I was adopted. She kept on coming over even after my old man died, and now she acts like a freeloader, eating breakfast and dinner every day. Actually, it might have been thanks to Fujine that I was able to make it on my own after my old man died. And now it is me, Fujine, and Sakura who are the residents of this Emiya house. But at the same time, I'm the only one who knows that my old man was a mage. They say mages have to keep that part of their lives secret, which is why I've also been hiding from others that I'm learning magecraft after I became my old man's apprentice. Learning may be a bit of a stretch, really, since I can barely use magecraft properly. So it wouldn't make much of a difference whether I hide magecraft or not, but since it was my old man's dying wish, I have been training in secret. Yet he's, again, barely at the starting line. I finish breakfast and get ready for school. I put away the dishes with Sakura as I listen to the news on TV in the background. Sakura is looking blankly at the TV. A flashy caption reading, "Gas leaks continue," pops up on the screen. That's not good. The fuck? There seems to have been a big accident in the neighboring city of Shinto. It happened in a building in the business district. Apparently, everyone on one of its floors lost consciousness from oxygen deprivation. Authorities have been calling it an accident resulting from gas leaks, but for some reason these incidents have been happening often.
今のニュース気になるのか、さくら。
いえ、別に。ただ、事故がシントで起きているなら近いなって。先輩、シントの方でアルバイトしていますよね。
してるけど、別にそんな大きな店じゃないよ。今のニュースみたいな事故は起きないと思う。
But I can't entirely ignore the idea either. Gas leaks can happen in any building, and it especially pains me to think that hundreds of people had fallen victim. Some say that these accidents are happening because of faulty construction work done during the rapid development projects in Shinto. Either way, I hope there won't be any more victims.
物騒な話だ。
That is
俺たちも
disturbing.
気をつけないと。
But it is actually something interesting to consider, because as we've learned in the
それならご
prologue
心配なく先輩。
of how
ガスの
quickly
元
a
栓
city
は
basically
いつも
formed
2
here,
回チェックしてますから安心です。
it is very possible that there were a bunch of oversights. That is actually something really interesting to consider. It's one thing to just throw out the idea that like, oh yeah, you know, quick development and all that, but you know, there's a, you know, a double-edged sword, basically. That's actually pretty interesting. I know, small teeny tiny little detail, but that is cool. I dig that. Sakura proudly proclaims.
いや、そういう話でなくて。
Yeah, I've always known Sakura is a little off too. As am I. But I'm sure you guys can, you know, you guys latched onto that one
裏
pretty
手の戸
quick.
締まりはしました？
したよ。缶抜きかけたけど、問題あるか？
ありません。それじゃあ鍵かけますね。先輩、今日のお帰りは何時ですか？
少し遅くなると思う。さくらは？
私はいつも通りです。多分私の方が早いと思いますから、夕食の下準備は済ませておきますね。
うん、助かる。俺もできるだけ早く帰るよ。
The gate is locked tight. Sakura and Fujine both have keys to the house, and the rule is that whoever leaves last is in charge of locking everything up. Makes sense.
急がない
I
と
think that's actually kind of
朝に間に合わ
normal.
ない。
それじゃあ少しだけ急ぎましょうか、先輩。
Man, we're really in the thick of it with the slice of life stuff for a little bit, I think. Because we're trying to play catch up. We're trying to get to the point. I don't know if we're doing like a day 1, 2, and 3 thing again. Actually, what is the date? Well, it's day 1 again, so I guess it's January 31st. Is that where we started? I want to say it was. Sakura and I walk into town. We walk downhill along a long wall to reach a more populated residential area. The Emiya house is located on top of a hill away from the center of town. Heading down the hill leads us to the residential area. Going further down, we reach the intersection at the center of town, which we learned about. Several roads lead out from the center of town. There's a large bridge that connects to the neighboring town. A hill that leads to Ryodo Temple. A residential area located opposite my house. A shopping district that both Sakura and I often go to. And finally, there's a path that leads to our school. Got all that, guys? I'm sure eventually I will. We head straight to school without taking any detours. It's barely 7 o'clock, so there's hardly anyone around. Students making their way to their morning club activities are the only ones to be found along our route.
それじゃあまたな。部活頑張れよ。
I see Sakura off at the school gate as usual. Sakura's in the Kyoto Club, so this is where we usually split off. And yet, Sakura doesn't budge this morning.
さくら、体の調子悪いのか？
いえ、そういうことじゃなくて、先輩、たまには道場の方に寄っていきませんか？
Why would we do that?
いや、別に道場に用はないぞ。それに今日は一斉に頼まれてるから生徒会室に行かないとまずい。
そうですよね。
I think this is a little bit of our crossroads
余計
here.
なことを言っちゃって。
I think that lines up a little bit. Sakura quickly bows her head.
それじゃあ失礼します。晩ご飯楽しみにしていてくださいね。
Oh, most definitely. Sakura runs towards the dojo, seemingly almost apologetic. Excuse me there. What was that? Guess that wasn't voiced. I wonder what that was all about. Maybe that was just all in our head. Probably. It's all I can assume. All right.
一斉、いるか？
Yep, we're gonna help him out with something. Rin came across us actually on day one as we were helping him out. I'm pretty sure.
いるぞ。今朝は少し遅かったな、エミヤ。
Issei glances up from his desk, looking like he's been studying some papers.
一世だけか。他の連中はどうしたんだ？この時間なら登校しててもおかしくないだろ
いや、あいにくとうちのメンバーはビジネスライクでね。働く時間帯はきっかり決まっていて、早出と残業はしたくないのだそうだ。
Honestly, I get it.
う。それで生徒会長自らが雑用か。ここはここで大変そうだな。
何？好きでしている苦労だ。エミヤに同情してもらうのは筋が違う。
いや、一世に同情なんてしてないぞ。
それはそれで無念だが、聞き流すとしよう。情が移っているということでは同じだからな。
Issei, who is gathering his papers into a single sheaf and tapping the edge against the table to square them neatly, is the big boss of the student council. He's been working to reform the student council, which has grown quite lax, and he's been a friend of mine since our first year in school. His full name is Issei Ryoto. Despite his old-fashioned sounding name, he has elegant facial features, and he's popular with the girls. And that last name there, by the way. He's also the student council president, so you'd think that he would have the leg up over everyone else, but that's not exactly the case.
やはり朝は舌が痺れるほどの熱湯が良い。
Oh, I can't drink hot drinks. I should really fucking learn how to, though, as we are approaching the colder season, finally exiting this awful summer. I should really be learning to appreciate hotter drinks. It's saying stuff like that as he sips tea that prevents him from quite sticking the landing. As evidenced, Issei is quite plain. He's prone to be misunderstood, yet he neither dabbles in relationships nor he does what typical students do for fun. He's the heir of the Ryoto Temple, there we go, which sits atop a mountain. He himself understands that he will inherit the temple, and there's a strong possibility that he will shave his head without so much as a complaint as soon as he graduates from school.
それで、今日は何をするんだ？
That's dedication.
ああ、まあともかく座って一服と言いたいのだが、時間がないな。
Off we go.
率直に言うとな、うちの学校、金のバランスが極端なんだよ。
As all schools can be at
知ってる。
times.
運動系がひいきされてるもんで、他に予算がいかないんだろ？
結果文化系の部員は絶えず不遇の扱いでな。今年から文化系に予算が行くよう尽力しているのだが、予算の流れが不鮮明でうまく回っていない。おかげで未だ文化系の物質は不遇でな。特に冬のストーブ不足に関しては打開策がまるでない。
そうか。あ、マイナスドライバーくれ。一番大きいやつな。あと動線も。
It really is the perfect man for the job with this shit. Oh, of course. Oh,
これか。
Issei, you are book smart, but you're not. Yep, I get it. I 100% get it. Because I'm right there with you.
で、ストーブ不足がどうしたって？ここ以外にも故障してんのがあんのか？
ある。第二視聴覚室と美術部の暖房器具が怪しいそうだ。新品購入願いの嘆願書が刻一刻と増えている。
けど予算にそんな余裕はないと。やっぱり劣化してるだけだな。中がイかれてなくて助かった。
治りそうか、エミヤ。
治るよ。こういう時古いやつは分かりやすくていい。配線系のショートだから新しいのに変えればとりあえず今年いっぱいは頑張ってくれる。
そうか、やるなエミヤ。お前が頼りになると極めて嬉しいぞ。
Hey, you know, what can we say?
おかしな日本語使うね、一世。もう少しで済むからちょっと外に出ててくれ。
エミヤの邪魔はせん。
Issei quietly steps out of the classroom. He might be thinking that I'm going to start on some sensitive work.
いや、デリケートといえばデリケートなんだけど。
What do we got going on? I put my hand to the old electric stove. No matter how long someone's been fixing things, they can't usually figure out what's wrong by sight. So the fact that I can means that what I'm doing is not ordinary. I close my eyes and look inside the stove by touch. And then suddenly, a single image pops into my head. He has the ability we all fucking want. What the fuck?
かかってるのが2つと、電熱管はまだ持つな。
He just turned this.
電源コードの方は絶縁テープでなんとかなる。
He just turned this object's mesh wires on. Good. I should be able to fix it with just the tools I brought along. If the electrical pipes were broken, it wouldn't be fixable by an amateur. Had that been the case, a certain strengthening would have to be done, which no amateur can manage, but I should be able to fix this one by sight. This is the magecraft Kiritsugu taught me.
よし、始めるか。
I take off the cover to begin my repairs. I already know where it's broken, so the rest of the work is easy.
これだけは得意なんだけどな、俺。
That's right. I, Shirou Emiya, have absolutely no talent in magecraft. But for some reason, I have a knack for visualizing the structure of things or blueprints, like I did just now. My old man once saw me imagine and recreate a blueprint. He looked surprised and then muttered, "What a useless talent. What the fuck? No." Like, I guess in the grand scale of things, in their world, yeah, it's probably dog shit, but in the real world, where, you know, society, as it was stated in the prologue, has kind of, you know, gotten the up and up on, you know, magecraft, I think that this is super good. To be able to see what is wrong with something without having to tear it apart, so then you know exactly what you'll need, where you'll need to go, what you'll need to do, that's incredible. That's a lifesaver. That's a time saver. My special talent appears to be pointless. I would argue otherwise. According to my old man, the fact that I can visualize object structures isn't really helpful. A mage normally wouldn't need to survey an object's entire structure like I do. He claims that mages' struggle is to instantly seek out an object's center, or its core, and then transform it as quickly as possible. That's why reading blueprints is a waste of time, and even that only helps seek out areas for magical energy to pass through. And so fixing broken stuff is one of the only things I'm good at. After all, I don't have to open the entire thing up to find the problem. Exactly. If I can find the problem quickly, I can fix most things as long as I have the know-how to repair it. Though I only do that with things an amateur could reasonably be expected to fix.
よし、終わり。次に行くか。
I put away the conductors, pick up the screwdriver and wrench, and head out to the hallway, which is where I think our crossroads will actually occur
伊
here.
勢、修理終わったぞ。
Oh hey, a female student is standing next to Issei in the hallway. There she is, finally from the other perspective. I'm a little surprised. The girl talking to Issei is Rin Tosuka, a second year from Class A. She lives in a giant Western-style mansion up on a big hill, and she's an extraordinary honor student. She's pretty, smart, athletic, no flaws at all. She's intelligent and polite, and she never brags about her looks. She's truly the ideal girl to guys, apparently. Which is why the male students treat her like an idol. But Tosuka is just too good, and she's become unattainable. The guys all say the only people who can talk to Tosuka are Issei and the teachers. Well, okay, I'm also a guy, and I'm including myself in the list of her admirers. What the fuck is this look? What did we do? Tosuka is looking at us annoyed. I guess rumors are true that Issei and Tosuka don't get along. Okay, it's not us necessarily.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
Whoa. Issei's pretty gutsy, talking to me and completely ignoring Tosuka like that.
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直した方が早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
そうか。なら試そう。
There's only about 30 minutes until homeroom starts. I'll need to hurry and fix it or I'll run out of time. Alright, bye. I head to the audio-visual room, but I realize completely ignoring Tosaka would be rude. I turn to face her since she's been standing there the whole time.
朝早いんだな、トサカ。
What the fuck was that puzzled-ass look? I think it's because when we were following her perspective, she just wasn't expecting him to really, acknowledge her? Maybe? I don't know. I blurt out the first thing that comes to mind and then follow Issei. Yeah, from this perspective, that was pretty random.
すまんなエミヤ。また苦労をかけた。頼み事をした上に遅刻させては友人失格だ。
別に気にするな。俺が遅刻する分には大したことじゃないだろ。ま、一星が遅刻するのは問題だけど。
もっともだ。いや、間に合ってよかった。
Issei exhales a sigh of relief and heads to his desk. It's exactly 8 o'clock. 5 minutes after the bell for homeroom rings, Fushine will enter the classroom. My breathing is labored since I ran from the audio-visual room. I take a deep breath before I take my seat. Oh, it's this fucking guy. Damn, this guy's just not likable. It's just not likable from any perspective you actually... You done? You done talking? Yeah, I was just gonna say that he's not likable from whatever perspective that we actually talk to him from. Standing in front of my desk is Shinji Mato. Oh, there's that. There's another name there. He's been a friend of mine since middle school. Oh, he's a friend? His last name is Mato, and he's Sakura's older brother. There we go. He's 1 year older than her.
よ、弓道部は落ち着いてるか、シンジ。
当然だろう。部外者に話してもしょうがないけど、目立ちたがり屋が一人減ったんで平和になったんだ。次の大会だっていいところまで行くさ。
そうか。三綴りも頑張ってるんだな。
Yeah, I remember her.
何見当違いなこと言ってんの？弓道部が記録を伸ばしてるのは僕がいるからに決まってるじゃんか。エミはさ、とっくに部外者なんだから、知ったような口を叩くと恥をかくよ。
そうか。気をつけよう。もっとも弓道部に用はないから関わることはないけどな。
I put my bag on my desk and pulled the chair back.
何それ？僕の弓道部には興味がないってこと？
興味じゃなくて用だよ。部外者なんだからおいそれと道場に行くの変だろう。けど何かあったら言ってくれ。手伝えることがあったら手伝う。弦張りとか弓の直し、シンジは苦手だったろ？
そう、サンキュー。何か雑用があったら声をかけるよ。ま、そんなことはないだろうけどさ。
ああ、それがいい。雑用を残しているようなやつは首相失格だからな。
Okay, but he's
あま
not
り藤村
captain.
先生を困らせるなよ。
余計なお世話だ。ともかくお前はもう部外者なんだから、道場に近づくなよ。
What the fuck? Sakura said that it was okay. But so he used to be a part of the club, okay. And just like that, Shinji heads off to his seat, all self-important bluster as ever. Huh. He does seem moodier than usual. We're friends with him?
自分からエミヤを追い出しておいて、よくもあんな口が聞ける。
なんだ、伊勢、いたのか。
なんだとはなんだ。気を利かして聞き耳を立てていた友人に向かって、なんと冷淡な男だお前は。
See, I like this guy more.
なんで気を利かすのさ。俺、一斉に心配されるようなことをしてないぞ。
たわけ、心配もするわ。 エミヤはカッとなりやすいからな。神事に殴りかかれば皆は喝采を送るが、女どもからは非難の嵐だ。友人をそんな微妙な立場に置くのはよろしくない。
See, he's so considerate.
言われてみればそうだ。ありがとう、一世。
分かればよろしい。だが意外だったぞ。エミヤは怒りやすいくせにマトウには寛大なんだな。
ああ、あれは神事の味だからな。付き合いが長いと慣れてくる。
I was about to say, he's probably used to it. No point in, just getting all heated all the time, basically. Just, it's whatever. Brush it to the side.
そんなものです。ほら、納得したら席に戻れよ。そろそろ藤村先生がすっ飛んでくるぞ。
あの方は飛んでくるというより浮いてくるという感じだかな。
What do you mean by that? The bell to start homeroom rings. Normally, the homeroom teacher comes into the classroom 5 minutes before homeroom starts, but our teacher isn't what you would call typical. Homeroom for Class 2C typically starts 1 minute after the starting bell. In other words, homeroom starts with the sound of Fujine's shouts and hurried footsteps. And she's down. Fujine tumbles and I hear some kind of unnatural sound. Contrary to the hectic sounds of a few seconds earlier, the classroom is now dead silent. The mood shifts sharply. It's no wonder Fujine is called a human roller coaster. But honestly, the way she fell didn't seem like a laughing matter. Fujine hit her head against the podium, and she's still lying on the floor. Seeing her lying there face down and unmoving has everyone imagining the worst.
おい、前の席のやつ、先生起こしてやれよ。
やだよ。近づいた途端パクって食べられたら怖いもん。
What the fuck are these opinions of the teacher? Oh my gosh.
さすがに藤村でもそこまでやらねえだろ。
あんたね、そういうんなら自分で起こしてあげなさいよ。
俺パス。こういうの苦手。
私だって苦手よ。大体なんで女の子にやらせるわけ？男子やりなさいよね、男子。
The students in the front row start to get rowdy. Those of us sitting in the middle rows can't see what's going on, so we all stand up to go get a look.
ちょっと先生動いてないぞ。気絶してんじゃないのか?
Someone brings up the obvious. But the problem is, how would we get Fujine to the infirmary? We're all like comrades in arms after our time dealing with Fujine. Probably nobody's thrilled by the idea of taking a teacher to the infirmary.
藤村先生、大丈夫ですか?
A brave girl approaches. Fujine isn't moving. The class grows more concerned.
まずいって今の転び方。こう頭から直角に教壇に突っ込んだじゃないか。
Oh, it's gotta hurt. It has gotta fucking hurt.
いっそのこと野球部にスカウトするのはどうだろう。
やめろよな、そういう脅しは。タイガーが顧問になった日には俺たち甲子園行っちまうぞ。
The tiger?
藤村先生、藤村先生、ダメ。なんか反応ないよ。
おい、お前目の前なんだから起こしてやれよ。やだよ俺。もし死んでたら殺されかねねえ。
I don't think that's how that works.
でも、だからってほっといたら後が怖いと思うし。
でも誰も近づきたくないと。
Everybody here is just so like hesitant. They don't know what they want to do. Everyone's on the same page, except Shinji and I. We keep quiet because the two of us dared not to be a part of what was about to happen. Oh, okay. That's her nickname. It comes out a whisper, even with so many students speaking in unison. The word tiger is especially inaudible, and yet... Oh, she's waking up. Fujine's previously motionless body reacts.
動いた。効き目ありだぞみんな。よし、続けろ。学校ロートンの刑じゃ。
Everyone must be on edge since midterm tests are approaching. It's a terrible idea on their part, but some students start to wave their arms and chant Fujine's nickname.
起きろタイガー。
朝だぞ。
先生、起きないとタイガーです。
You need to tiger up?
負けるなタイガー。立ち上がれタイガ
Uh-oh. What was that?
ー。よし、起きろ先生。それでこそタイガー
I
だぜ。
actually don't even know what the fuck that was.
タイガー、タイガー、タイガー、タイガー、タ
Oh, okay.
ガー。タイガーって言うな。
What the fuck? Did she summon her fucking persona or something? Like a sudden bolt of lightning striking. Fujine stands valiantly, as if the fall hardly scratched her.
あれ、みんな何してるの？ダメよ、ホームルーム中に席を立っちゃ。ほらほら、始めるから座りなさい。
What the fuck? What happened? Fujine, back to her normal self, stands at the podium. It appears she recalled nothing between the time she jumped into the classroom and the time she woke up. She has a just straight up gap there.
タイガー覚えてないみたいだぞ。ラッキー。朝からついてるな俺たち。いや、ついてるっていうのかな。
The students shuffle back to their desks.
今誰か先生のことバカにしなかった？
え、してないっすよ。気のせいじゃないっすか。
そっか、ならよし。じゃあ今朝のホームルームを始めるから、みんなおとなしく聞くように。
Fujine casually starts homeroom. She always goes on digressions between announcements, so it goes slowly.
そう
Digressions,
いう
by
わ
the
けだ
way.
からみんなも下校時刻を守るように。門限は6時だから部活の子たちも長居しちゃダメよ。
6時って言ったらすぐじゃんか。タイガ先生、それって運動系は免除されないの？
されません。それと後藤くん、先生のことは藤村先生って言わなくちゃダメなんだから。
Oh,
次に名前で呼んだ
okay.
ら怒るからね。
Okay, so that's her first name.
はーい。以後注意します。
And that's why they call her Tiger? Goto sits back down. He doesn't seem particularly remorseful. Too easy. When Fujine says that she gets mad, she does get mad. It doesn't matter if it's with a teacher or a student. And that is as close to a serious warning as she's ever going to give. But Goto doesn't realize it.
それじゃあ今日のホームルームはここまで。みんな3次元目の英語で会おうね。
Fujine waves and leaves. So that was Taiga Fujimura, the teacher of Room 2C. Her nickname, Tiger. That might seem like a joke, but it isn't. She got the nickname because it sounds like her name Taiga, but Fujine hates it. According to her, it doesn't sound feminine. But she got the nickname because of how she acts, so she kind of had it coming. Oh, it's this guy. As Fujine exits the room, the first period teacher enters. Because Fujine takes up almost all the homeroom time, mornings are always like this for our class. Damn. Crazy stuff. And it is, man, the sun fucking beams. It really does. What a tint. But all right, I think we'll wrap it up there as we are now almost done with our first day again. So really making the progress here again. But this is cool, you know, going through it through another perspective, and this one a lot more ordinary for the time being. I mean, yeah, there's a little something in there, but if we check the flowchart, yeah, we're actually coming up on a choice actually. So we have a choice in the next one, but it looks like we gained brownie points with Sakura in that initial choice, which is that's pretty cool. I don't know. I think I'm totally down for a visual novel with choices as long as it makes sense, you know? As long as it makes some sort of fucking sense as to where you're going with things. Whatever that means. But yeah, happy that there's a flow chart that you can actually see the choices you've made and how that affected things. I dig that. I do. But anyways, yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.